So I've already drawn out the little wren on a 10 by 10 inch canvas panel, given it a coat of acrylic medium and a little bit of raw umber to create an imprimatura or coloured ground to paint onto. And I'm just now putting in some of the basic tones or basic shapes and outlines with this brush here, just so I don't lose them, because the drawing is still visible, but I don't want to lose them, so I'm just putting them in again, and just some of the darker areas. Now, the colours I'm using is a limited palette of titanium white, Payne's grey, raw umber, burnt sienna and yellow ochre. So it's a very simplified palette of earth colours. I love using these earth colours for a lot of the paintings that I do. And you can use them for wildlife, animal portraiture, you can use it for landscapes, you can use it for more or less anything. Okay, I'm just putting in some larger areas now in the background with my flat 1-inch bristle brush. Now, I've left links below, in the description below, regarding the tools and equipment that I use. I use this brush and catalyst tool and also the paints and stuff that I use. They're in the links in the description below, so if you're interested, if you use those links, then you'll be helping to support me and my channel, and this helps me to keep bringing you these videos. I've also got a YouTube membership as well, which is only one tier at the moment, and it's basically a support tier. And for just the price of a cup of coffee, you'll be able to have a privileged view of my videos before they go public, and also be able to join me on my live painting sessions when I stream them, which is once a month at the moment, and is generally the second Monday in the month at 6 PM GMT. So, basically just knocking in some of these shapes, and I'm basically going to put the colours down, the mid-tones down of everything, and then I'm going to use my catalyst silicon tool to move and blend all these shapes around, all these colours, because I like this first stage to be messy, and it's several stages or layers that I paint in, and this is how you should paint with acrylics. And you can see how you can actually blend. If you learn to paint quickly, you can blend with them because the paint is still wet. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do I keep acrylic paints wet? Well, you just saw there, I just gave you a little spray of water, a mist spray. And it's not so that the water starts running down the painting. You don't want that. You just want it damp. And this is the way to keep acrylic paints wet and usable. You can still move the paint around. You can still blend it. Once you feel it start to go dry, you give it another little spray, mist spray, and it will stay wet for ages, and you can do all sorts of things with it. But I'm just making this messy now. The background and everything is very, very abstract, because I'm doing this in 3 different styles. I'm using abstract techniques, impressionist techniques and realist techniques. So I'm going to be showing you all 3 of those in this painting. Use a small brush here just to put in some of those basic little areas that I want to keep accurate. So the top half of the bird is going to be really quite detailed, and then the lower portions and the wing area are where the paint is going to blend into that background. I do like certain areas of my portraits to blend and merge in. Okay, just dry that layer off now, because that layer is finished. Let it cool down, give it another spray of water so that the paint will move around, and then I'm doing the background again. And I always do this with backgrounds. The first layer is very, very messy, but this second layer will produce a smoother effect because I'm now painting onto above another layer, a previous layer which is dried. So it won't be quite as messy when I start to move that paint around with the catalyst tool. So putting some warmth in there now with some of the burnt sienna and raw umber, and I want this light area at the bottom and a little shadow there. I want a little pool of light that the little bird is sitting in or standing in. Now I can use this silicon tool once again. Move that paint around. Use your finger as well to blend. And just create those lovely abstract background marks that you can't do with a brush. I'll just put some paint on the palette, pick it up with the tool and paint with it as well. Just to give me different shapes. I can also use a small painting knife. A little bit of yellow ochre added into that, Payne's grey and white, will give me a nice green colour, and a bit of raw umber as well will make it a little bit more earthy. And I can put this very, very random and loose abstract style bit of foliage in there. So a little bit of warmth now with a bit of burnt sienna and white will give me this warmth that the bird has in certain parts of its body and the tail. So you can see how by keeping the paint moist, you can blend with it very, very much like oils. In fact, it is just like oils really for blending if you keep the paint moist. Now it's quite difficult here because we've had a very, very hot spring and it's quite warm in my studio. So the paint is drying rather quickly, so I will every now and again give the whole painting a little mist spray of water when I need it to stay wet, that is. There are other times when I don't want it to be wet, I want it to be dry, so I can do the detail over the top. So I will use the hairdryer just to dry the paint off quickly and then let it cool down before you start painting on it, otherwise the paint will dry very, very quickly. So once it's cooled down, I always give it a little spray of water again, just to make sure that the paint going on then will stay moist. So rather than adding water to the paint to make it go on, that will make it dry quicker. You add water by spraying it onto the canvas in a mist, and you'll find that works an awful lot better. So I'm just working on the leg areas now because I want one leg to be in shadow, so I need it to be light behind it, and one leg to be quite light, where the sunlight's just picking out certain parts of it. So I'm just using this old worn bristle brush, a flat bristle brush here. I tend to use old brushes. I like old brushes. They have unique brush strokes. They create brush strokes that are different and varied. Whereas a brand new brush can only produce one type of effect. You saw me just spray it again, just to keep these certain areas wet. You see, if I sprayed too much on, then the water would run down and make all sorts of horrible effects, and I don't want that. There are certain times when you might want to use those sorts of effects, but I'm not using that in this painting. So I'm just putting the legs back in once again. Make sure that this one's dark enough there. It's going to have a little foot there. It's an impressionist style foot, it's not detailed. Same with that leg there. It's too thick, that is, so I will adjust that later. And I'll just put a little mid-tone shadow under those little toes there, just to create the effect. I'll do the same with this one over here. So they're not hard-edged, they blend and blur into that background. And also that shadow area there, the one below it, it needs adjusting. It doesn't need to be there, that shadow, so I'm just going to paint over it, which is what you can do with acrylics. You can alter the painting as you go along. That's what's great about them. So that's removed that lower shadow, and so it's just got the one shadow now. Okay, I just need to make this bird a little bit darker in the wing area and lower part of the body, and perhaps blend that tail area there. And I can lighten up as well some of the areas in the background so the bird stands out a little bit more. You can see the shape of the bird a little bit easier. Now I'm using the this old brush that I love so much. It's an old worn nylon brush, and if you splay the bristles on it by pressing into the palette, you can paint all these lovely fine little areas of fur and feathers. I generally press down until the heel of the brush touches the palette, and it splays all those bristles like that, and then paint with it. You might need to have again the mist spray bottle, just mist it slightly, and then you can paint these fine lines much easier, all these fine details. It comes off the brush a little bit easier if the canvas is damp. And you'll soon know if it isn't damp enough, because it just won't work very well. So splay those bristles. If you've got an old brush, then, and you like painting wildlife, then you must use this technique. It's the easiest way to paint fur and feathers. So a few little highlights now, a bit more accurately put in, because I'm using a small brush now. And I need a little bit of a highlight on that lower eyelid, and in the top little catch light there in the top of the eye. A few little highlights now on the leg and foot. Just little dots of light I'm putting in, that's all. And a couple on this side, won't be quite as bright, but just where they're just catching a little bit of the foot. I'm not showing all the toes, because a couple of the toes are hidden. You don't need to put every single toe in. Okay, I'm just adjusting that leg, the thickness of the leg, and I'll do the same with this leg. It's just a little bit too thick, so I'll just, with the background colour, just adjust the leg. And now using the splayed bristle technique for some of the darker areas now. Just a few little touches here and there. And just build the painting up now, layer by layer, a little bit at a time. Once that layer has dried and you go over it again with some more of these little marks, it builds up that level of complexity. And it's a lot quicker than trying to paint every single fine hair. Okay, a little light colouring now, just going in. Bit of burnt sienna with, you can either use water or a glazing medium, just to put in a little bit of that colouring. Those highlights back on the legs again and elsewhere. I'll put one or two here where it's just picking up a bit of light on the top of the head as well. Blend with the finger. And I'm going to put some lights now into this foliage area. Some little shapes of random foliage area. I'm not painting leaves as such, I'm just putting little dots and dashes to create the impression that there is some form of foliage there. And I can put some highlights in there as well, just to show the light is just catching one or two little areas like that. And that tail needs to be lightened up a little bit, so I'll just use the splayed bristle effect just to lighten that area up. That's a little bit too bright, so just tap it with your finger and it takes it down in value. A few little highlights now in the floor to make it look like it gives the impression of a little rocky sort of a floor that it's standing on the ground. And then I can splatter as well with this brush. This has to be quite liquid to do this, but splattering some burnt sienna and white there. And then I can get some white, pure white, and just splatter one or two of those. And then I can also get the green colour and splatter there as well. And it gives this effect of detail without doing detail. A few more highlights now into the bird once again. I'll keep going over these highlights until they're bright enough, because it will sink in. The paint will sink in as it dries. So you need to go over the highlights several times. until they stay as bright as you want them to be. Okay, I'm just putting this dark line in the beak there a little bit more accurately. And it's not far off finished now, really. I'm just going to put a few more darker areas in to make the bird really stand out there in the background. And then blend that area there. Like that. A bit of burnt sienna back into the colouring of the bird. Lightly done with the brush now. Very, very light pressure. Then a bit more of the detail with the splayed bristle technique, and I'll put a few more little dots and dashes of highlights in as well. In both the bird, the beak, and the little foliage bit on the other side. And once that's all done, then that's the painting finished. If you have enjoyed this video and hopefully found it interesting and entertaining, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click on the little bell icon if you wish to be notified of my latest videos. I am always interested in your questions and comments, and I do try to answer every one of them. Hopefully I will see you on my next painting video, so until then, have a lovely day and happy painting!